What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Kid Free Daniel, aka Big T, and today I am gonna mod my original PlayStation 2 for the first time. This is actually my first time modding a console in general, so PS2 I heard is really easy and simple to do. So I got the original model right here. This is the original fat model. So what we're gonna do is mod it, and I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. So I got packages here. This is my game, but these two packages here is what's going to help me mod it. And this first mod is a free McBoot card for a PS2 for 64 megabyte. I meant megabyte, but I went and got the 64 megabyte. Now these are hard to find. I had to search everywhere online to be able to get one of these. So if you can find them, this will help you mod your console. It's called a free McBoot card, and what it does, it has a bunch of hacks on this memory card. And go ahead and pull it out here, and right here is the memory card. Right here is the memory card, and like I said, I went with the 64 megabyte, which is like the biggest one. Free McBoot version 1.953, so that is the one I got right there, and we just plug it in like a regular memory card. Now keep in mind, do not use this as a storage to save your games on this memory card. Make sure you grab like a regular memory card to save your games. Right here is an official Sony 8 megabyte. So if you want to save your games, use another memory card to save your games, and just use this for your hacks and mods only. Don't save. This will work on the original PlayStation 2 and the Slim, but this next mod that I'm about to do won't work on the Slim. And this right here is the SATA HDD adapter. So pretty much what I'm going to be doing is installing a hard drive into this PlayStation 2, and I can be able to install my games onto the hardware itself into the system, and then I won't need disc. Pretty neat saying that on a PS2. Installing games, what? So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And this only works on the original PlayStation 2 because it has an expansion bay back here where you can just unplug and it reveals something for a hard drive. Now, what this was mainly used for was like for back then, the original PS2 didn't have a network where you can play online, and PS2s could play online, very limited, but the original one couldn't do it. The Slim did. It was built into the Slim, which I had a lot of those back then. But the original PlayStation 2, you had to buy a separate adapter that plugged in the back of here, and that's how you plugged in your Ethernet cable. But we're not doing the network. We're doing an adapter for a hard drive. And right here, again, these are easier to find online. You can find them anywhere, eBay, Amazon. Now this, I had trouble finding. I was able to get this through AliExpress, but I don't know if they would still have them. They were just hard to find, these memory cards. But these adapters, easy to find. You can find them anywhere. Pull this out, and right here is pretty much the adapter for hooking up a hard drive for your system for the PS2. So it's got the screws here so we can screw it right in. Take this cover right off. That plugs right up top on the console itself, and then right at the bottom here is where you plug in the hard drive. Pretty simple stuff. Now they have different models of these where it has an Ethernet cable port up top. I didn't need all that. I mean, I'm not planning on doing anything network with my PS2, so just a simple hard drive adapter is fine. The hard drives that I have, now you can hook up to 2 terabytes on this, so keep that in mind. But the hard drives I have right here is a 1 terabyte. That might be the one I might install, but here's the 1 terabyte. and then the other one is only 250 gigabyte. So obviously I'm gonna go with the 1 terabyte, so I have a lot of space, like so. And they make where it has a casing so your hard drive ain't moving around, but I'm not gonna be moving it around. So, but what you do is you just plug it right in, like so, and boom, it's in there. And like I said, they make casing to keep it where it ain't gonna be moving around on you. PlayStation 2, and just slide. You just slide that right in. Until it actually plugs in, makes like a plug-in sound. So now the adapter is plugged into the PlayStation 2 with the hard drive plugged into the adapter. And then next we just get our straight screwdriver and screw it in so it doesn't pop out. And then screw it in there, just snug it. It's in there. And yes, I gotta give my system a little bit of a cleaning. But now we just take our memory card, plug it in slot 1, and then take our memory card that we're going to use for storage, plug it into slot 2. Next, bought this off eBay, really cheap, like $3. This is a PS2 to an HDMI adapter with a headphone jack, and it just plugs into the back, like so. And then this wire plugs into the front of the USB. And another thing I wanted to mention about the PS2 Slim. Now, remember I told you you can't use a hard drive, internal hard drive, on a Slim like you can on the original PS2. But the option you do have for a PS2 Slim, if you're using the free McBoot, is you can have an external hard drive where it plugs into the USB, and you can have a hard drive that way. Now as far as, I think there's like a certain option that, there's like one option on this free McBoot that requires an internal hard drive, but you do have an option of an external on the PS2, but you're left out with that one option, and we'll go through that here in a minute. HDMI adapter in the back, and our internal hard drive. Next, I have this adapter for a wireless controller. So we really making this PS2 more modern style. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. Now, what I will say is, with that HDMI adapter, with that plug, if you have it standing, yeah, you can see it's kinking that cord. So just keep that in mind when you buy this adapter. They have many adapters, but this is like the cheapest one on the market. So your best bet is probably just to lay the console down. Alright, let's try it out. So I got the console laying down, so that works much better on the back of that HDMI. But now we have our modded PS2. Alright. Fire it on. There it is, free McBoot 2008. So it pulls up the mod on the PS2. And there we go. We got our official modded PS2. So we got free McBoot version. Go through the settings and I'll show you what you can do with this mod. Very easy steps to do. Alright, I got my wireless PS2 controller. Flip the switch at the bottom. Boom, we are connected. Solid green light. Alright, so obviously the browser is something that's on the console itself. How you can pull up the memory card. And again, do not use your free McBoot memory card as a save data. Use your other memory card to save your games. So just keep that in mind. That's important. Okay. Very curious how much. Oh yeah, we got a lot of stuff here. This memory card, if it has all the mods on here, so my PS3 just kicked on. It's doing a regular system update check. But I will look into that and see whether it's safe to save. Because look, I got a 64 megabyte and I have all this space for saved games now, and yeah, I want to use it. System configuration. Alright, so you launch OPNPS HD loader. Now, HD loader is the one that requires the internal hard drive, which is right there. And this is how you install games onto the hard drive. Now, somebody told me it doesn't work with an external hard drive. It has to be internal. So, yeah. But if you're using a slim PS2, then you have the options to internal that way through this mode. I think it'd be right here, USB Advanced. This is where you would load it up through the external. But yeah, this is what we got going on. And we have cheats, hacks, all that. Bunch of codes for mini games. So there's a lot of things you can do on here. But what I'm really interested is this HD loader. It pulls this up. I can hear the hard drive kicking in. Alright, so I had to reset it, and I put in the 250 gigabyte hard drive because something was going wrong with the 1 terabyte. So let's see if it works with the 250 gigabyte. And that might have just been my hard drive faulty. It was just hard drives that I had laying around, so maybe there was something wrong with it and I just forgot. Okay, and the 250 gigabyte does work, so it recognized the hard drive being plugged in. So we'll go ahead and format it. 250 gigabytes, which I'm sure that's enough for PS2 games. Alright, so I have a whole tower of PS2 games and more, but I'm going to pick my most rare PS2 games, like Def Jam Fights for NY. Very rare game, worth like over $200, complete in box. And what I'm going to do is install my most rare PS2 games to my PS2. That way, if something ever happens to the disc, I still have the game installed on my hard drive. But showing the space I have right here. So we'll go ahead and take my Def Jam Fights for NY. Love this game. All-time favorite. Go ahead and open it up here. And we'll go ahead and put in the disc there. But I do notice the fan's picking up a little bit more speed, and that's probably because it just needs cleaned. Over to install. Please insert the CD or DVD disc for the game you wish to install. And I did. It's checking it. Choose a game name. I can name the game, but we'll just put Def Jam. And there we go. I got it named. And it's installing. So now it's installing the game that I inserted into the PS2 and putting it onto my hard drive. That is really cool. You couldn't even do something like that on a PS2 back then at all. And it's even telling me how big the game is. It's 4 gigabytes. So the next game I'm installing is Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And it shows that it's got 3% done. And it's going to take about 17-18 minutes. Again, this disc is 4 gigabytes. So, yeah, we'll wait. It's done installing the game. And you can see it keeps going from 30 seconds to 1 minute, which is weird. And I had enough time to do the dishes, and it's still installing. Alright, and it's almost done. Any second, boom. Installation complete. Put it back in its case. And now, with nothing in the console at all, we're going to hit Mortal Kombat Armageddon and play. Hit the power button when you're running a game. If you tap it, it won't reset it. It just shuts the console down. So, keep that in mind. Like, before you mod the PS2, like, if you would tap the power button, it would just reset it. So, since it's modded, you can't do that anymore. As soon as you hit that power button, it shuts it down. We're going to try U-Launch. So that's what that looks like right there. Power button. Oh, it reset it that time. But that time it actually resetted it. I guess it just has I guess, what's on the hard drive, and it shows you what's on the hard drive. This right here, launch disk, that's just if you just want to play regular disk, then that's what you would hit when you have a disk. So this has pretty much like a code breaker on it, where you have every single code for every game. Now, this is what this looks like. So, looks like we have 1,055 games and 118,581 codes. That is a lot. It opened up the tray. Look at that. Open the tray through my controller. An external hard drive, or just like a flash drive, whatever. You can use any USB. Now this is like kind of for like if you have a PS2 Slim, load games that way, but you can't install them kind of like you can do with the HD loader. So keep that in mind. I'm going to install some more games while I'm thinking about it. So the Sims 2, my favorite Sims of all time. Turning the PS2 in 2025 into a nice, almost modern style system. So that is why I love the mod for this system. And there's many more mods you can do on this. Like I said, it comes with a bunch of cheats for a bunch of games. There's the HD loader. You can but anyway, guys, this video is long enough. I just wanted to show you that how cool it is to mod your PlayStation 2 in 2025, and it's really easy. This is my first modded console I've ever done, and I might do some more mods on my older consoles, but turn the PS2 into a modern gaming console in 2025. So I hope this video helped you guys out. The real problem and trouble you're gonna have is finding this memory card right here. I had a hell of a time trying to find it somewhere online that still sells it. I think Amazon still has them. They're like 30, 15 bucks, something like that. So just look around on the internet, but make sure it's called Free McBoot for PS2. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I am out this thing. Peace.